this is just an outline of what that meeting was about. Give you some of the questions that was asked at the meeting. I listed several of those. I'm going to call this meeting probably around the middle of February. I'm going to invite engineers, developers, surveyors, everyone who might be involved, and you all certainly, with the Planning Commission process. Just to listen to what they have to say. We've already completed some items that we had said we would complete, such as we have shortened the submission and approval process. We've condensed it, not shortened. Condensed is a better word, because now we've got it down to about 32 to 35. There's a month or two, I think it's 40 days, but that's the way the weeks fall. But normally it's around 32 to 36 days of approval. That's about in line with what Richmond does. It's about in line with what the county does. They're somewhere in that neighborhood of approval from the time you submit something. The questions that are going to be asked is primarily, what can we do with little small developments that really have no impact? Is there some other process we can take those through? I don't know the answer to that at this point, but we'd like to listen to some suggestions, be open to listen. What about, we've already discussed the possibility of having our engineer over here at least one day a month for about 4 hours in the afternoon, and it be a posted time so that if a surveyor, developer, engineer has a question, they can come in and sit down with our engineer and talk about it. And they're not trying to do it through emails. They can sit face to face and see if they can work some of these issues out. That's one of the things that we're going to go ahead, that came out of this meeting, and we're going to go ahead and try to put that into effect. Shortening condensing the schedule came out of this meeting. So some things have already been done to help the situation. And one of the things this all came about was, it had to do with the economic times, as George said a few minutes ago. There's not much happening right now. And what is happening, they're really frustrated that it was taking 50 to 60 days to get something approved before they could start doing something, especially since they ain't got nothing else to do. So that's kind of what brought this about. It doesn't mean that we turn over anything. I mean, we're not going to give away, we're going to make sure that we get good development. That's what the goal of this commission is to make sure that whatever development we get, it's good development. It's good for the city. It's development that's not going to cost us in the future as taxpayers, and it's going to be there for a long time, and it's going to be sustainable. So those are some of the things that we need to keep in mind, no matter what. But at the same time, if there's some things that we can do to strengthen the process or shorten it a little bit, or make it a better process even, with better information and stuff like that, we're more than willing to do that. So that's what this meeting is about. And we will send out letters to everybody. Certainly you all will be invited. I was going to invite the city council members, anybody else that wanted to come, anybody.
At the same time that you're doing this, would you also include a review of building permit fees? Most contractors aren't really concerned so much with the cost of a permit as they are the loss of 60-some days before they can do something.
Right. And one of the areas that has popped in my mind is possibly we can, during the process, if you get to a certain stage, it looks like it's going to be a go because they meet all the criteria, that maybe we can give them a site.
Phasing permit.
Site work, give them permit to start site work so they can go ahead and move some dirt or start doing something.
Phase permit is a very common thing.
But there's got to be some stipulations put in there so that we don't let things happen that then it don't get approved. Then that can hurt them in a way. But those are some of the things we want to talk about.
I'd echo Commissioner Irwin's comments in terms of looking, if we're providing more service or faster service, more intense time from your office or an engineer on staff, look at the fee. What do we charge for a conditional use permit?
It's $150.
Okay, my church is seeking one in Richmond, and it starts at $200. For example.
Well, I've reviewed those about every 3 years, and I try to stay with where the county in Richmond is. So they must